Hey, what's up guys, Mashine here, come back with a brand new video. If you guys, in my past video, we talked about how a lot of the hype seems to be returning to cases. Today we're going to be diving a little bit deeper into the general market. First thing I want to talk about is it seems like there's a very strong possibility we're going to be getting Zues Skins. Aquarius has come out on Twitter and said that the new development tools for CS2 weapon creators now offer them the chance to go ahead and make Zues Skins. Now this is a very interesting development because it also brings along the possibility of a Zues Case or a Zues themed big update, which we'll talk about after a quick word from today's sponsor. The sponsor for today's video is Loot Farm, a CSGO trading site that's been in the scene for 5 years and is specifically designed to get you the most value possible. Now all you have to do is log in with your Steam account and they're going to be giving you a $5 subscription for absolutely free called Trader Plus. And if you don't have any skins to trade, there's no need to worry. They're going to be giving you a 25% deposit bonus or a 30% deposit bonus if you're using crypto. Now Loot Farm likes to keep it exciting. That's why they have a random chance for you to score a bonus of up to 5% of your skins trade on every trade. They support CSGO, Dota 2, TF2, and Rust, and they've got an exciting auction feature which you have to check out. So why wait? Check them out with that top link in the description and grab that gift that's waiting for you. Now we'll talk about future updates in a quick second, but I want to focus in on this specifically because if we want to look in the past, there's really only one example we can point to of a not very popular item receiving a whole case or a whole update about it, and that's the R8. And if we want to look at the current R8 prices, you'll notice a very significant trend amongst them, and that's that none of them are expensive. If we want to look at the R8 Fade, which is potentially the most desirable R8 skin, I mean there's not a lot of Fade skins in the game. The R8 Fade is one of the cheapest ways to get a Fade skin because it's just not desirable at all. The R8 is not a popular weapon, and the Zues is even less popular. I couldn't find any good statistics about the Zues, but I pulled up Simple's profile, and he's used it in the top 9% of people, and he's only used it a couple hundred times. It's not one that a lot of people use and are going to be using in the future. This, in my opinion, will lead us to a very detrimental update if we saw a major update based around Zues Skins. I think this is something that's going to slowly be integrated into a case. The problem is I can't see this even being a pink skin without having a detrimental impact on the overall case it's added to. Maybe it might sneak by with a pink skin, but definitely not a red skin, because we can look at the revolver case, the case that was tailored around this skin, and it only has one red skin that's a revolver in there. So it's something that I think definitely needs to be treated with a lot of care by Valve, because they have the possibility to create one of the worst cases moving forward if they're not careful with this, and that's going to be very detrimental because we can look at statistics and see we're not receiving many cases at all. In fact, in 2022, we received barely any skins in general, and wasting some of these skins on Zues skins that are going to be popular for a couple days and then go away is a really bad move for the game. And talking about moves by Valve, if we want to go ahead and check out some of the Paris unboxing numbers for souvenir packages, we can see that the Anubis souvenir package does not seem to be getting a ton of unboxing demand. We can go ahead and see by looking up the Eye of Horus souvenir skins, and you can see that the number is not very significant when you want to compare it to the Desert Hydras that have been unboxed for Paris. This Desert Hydra has been out for a decent amount of majors. This is the 4th major it's showing up in, along with the fact that it was an operation skin previously, and you can see that it is still far outnumbering the Eye of Horus. And in my opinion, even the Welcome to the Jungle kind of comes close. So it doesn't seem like the overall souvenir packages are having a ton of demand, which could potentially lead to us seeing more of these $2 collection packages for the future, or maybe that this collection package for Anubis is going to stick around. And that's because there's about 37 times more of the Eye of Horus in the normal form than there is of the souvenir. That's obviously because of trade ups and because it's just much easier to get these, along with the fact that much more have been unboxed. If we want to generalize this data and go ahead and multiply the souvenir Eye of Horus times the odds to get it, you can see that there's just over 500,000 of these unboxed. When we look at the data for that's just the regular format, you can see this is a lot more. Now what this means for you is very unknown, because this could bring up the possibility of having a very strong investing opportunity, because not a lot of these are being open right now, which could create rarity or scarcity when we're talking about this specifically, but it also could have a very negative effect, showing that the $2 package that is for sale by Valve is just way too strong, and the souvenir potential of this item is just not that big. Therefore, investing into some of these souvenir packages may not be the greatest opportunity. We don't know at this time. The next thing I want to talk about is an investment that I think you should be a little bit wary of, and that's the souvenir pass with tokens. Now, if we want to look at some of the past examples of this, you can see that it is done particularly well, but it's done particularly well because of a glitch in the system. As you can see, you can go ahead and redeem these for some of these past souvenir packages, and you can look at Dust 2 and see exactly the downfall that is occurring. occurred because of that. Now, in my opinion, this is not going to be available to do in CS2, which instantly takes away a lot of the value that this pass has once the major for Paris ends, and I think people need to be aware of that because most people are looking at these long-term graphs and not realizing why they have gone up for these passes and just investing into them thinking that it's going to happen again. Now, talking about what's next for cases, in my opinion, I still like the future a very significant amount. We're going to talk about the events that could occur in just a quick second, but talking about the current position cases are sitting in, looking at unboxing numbers, they're in a very strong position. A lot of these rare cases specifically still have a very high amount of demand. Obviously, the supply of them is quite low considering they make up 1% of the drop pool. Active cases are a whole nother battle of their own, and honestly, I think you need to be a little bit careful when you're looking at that, but rare cases themselves are still sitting in a very strong position moving forward. Now, talking about the events that could impact this, the first of which that seems to be getting once again a little bit of traction is an operation. This is a little bit because we just mentioned the Zues, and some people think that this could be something that comes along with an operation, which I guess is possible and would probably be the least detrimental to the overall game. As we just previously mentioned, a case is not going to be very good for the Zues, but if it was just another one of those operation gettable items, that could be a very good thing for the Zues. The thing that goes along with that is an operation usually drops down cases in price. Now, it's specifically hard to say how much this is going to impact the market. A lot of investors coming in is exactly what happened when we saw CS2 released, and we saw exactly what happened with the case market then. It absolutely exploded. Same with everything else. However, we've also seen that these people are very quick to leave, and if we want to look at any CSGO hype, it's the exact same pattern over and over again. Something absolutely blows up and then it goes down very quickly. This is something that I don't think is going to be very impactful when we talk about an operation, but it could have the possibility to go ahead and reduce the deficit we see with an operation. Instead of seeing items drop down 30%, maybe we see them drop down 20%. It's a little bit of a speculative area and it's very hard to say specifically, but I don't think this is going to be a super negative thing when we're talking about an operation and specifically older items for investing. Now, when we're talking about newer items, there are items that came with the operation, it's probably going to be a little bit more of a negative thing just because that's more money going to Valve and more items being generated, which overall increases the supply, which is not the greatest thing when we're talking about items. We want to have some level of exclusivity. And coming to the last thing of the video, is the market in a bubble right now? I would say definitely not. I think there's a very strong reason as to why specific things are sitting at their certain price. If we want to look at Stockholm and Antwerp, they're down significantly. You can look at my personal graphs in my inventory to see a lot of things are down significantly from the CS2 hype. And once again, if we just go ahead and zoom out a little bit, throw an overall trend bar, you can see that prices are not terribly off of what we expect them to see in the entire market. And I think that's a very strong sign that we're sitting in a pretty decent situation, at least in my opinion. But that's all I got. I want to thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you have a great rest of your day.